The meeting of the Tuesday, April 15th, 2025, City of Urbana Human Rights Commission is called to order. Could we have a roll call? Tom?
Shalini Smith.
Here.
Peter Resnick.
Here.
Vahagan Shiflikan.
Here.
Jerry Fry. Charles Davidson. Ann Panthen.
Here. Thank you. Are there any additions to the agenda? Nope. All right. How about a motion to approve the minutes of the March 18, 2025 meeting?
I'll put forth that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public input? Seeing none, we'll move on to unfinished business, which I don't think we have any. New business, we have some automatic 2-year EEO certifications.
Okay, and then those are Urban GIS Incorporated and Blue Shift Cybersecurity Incorporated.
And are those 2-year?
Yes.
Thank you. And that's all we have to do.
Yes, that's correct, ma'am.
That's correct. I ask that every time, and every time you say the same thing, so I'm just testing. We also have consideration of EEO workforce statistics.
Okay, so the recommendations are as follows. 1 year is recommended for M&O Environmental Company, and then 2 years is recommended for Ingberg Anderson Incorporated, 217 Incorporated, Prairie Engineers, PC, Cone Incorporated, SAC Construction, LLC, Allied Waste Transportation Services, Cascade Engineering Incorporated, Gibbs Technology Company, the Roderick Group, Reser Demolition, LLC, Environmental Systems Research Institute Incorporated, Green Demolition Contractors Incorporated, Safe Environmental Corporation, and EnviroServe Incorporated.
You can just formalize that if you'd like, ma'am.
Okay,
So that's the motion.
yes,
Do we
that was
have
the
a
motion.
I'll second for purposes of discussion. So I had some questions, and I apologize for not reviewing these earlier and getting them to you. 2 are, I hope, relatively simple. For 217 Inc. and for Allied Waste Transportation Services, the number of hired minorities in the changes since last are greater than the number of existing employed minorities, which doesn't make any sense.
Could you say that once again?
So for 217 Inc., they said they hired 2 minority employees. But if you look at their workforce statistics, they only have 1 minority employee. And for Allied Waste, they said they hired 18 minorities, but if you look at their workforce statistics, they only have 11.
So that is going with the number of separations and the number of hires from in between 2 reports. So that means the candidates or the employees did not stay for the duration. They have turned over.
Okay, so there were more separations since the hires. I think what we might want to do is make clear to folks that we want separations to date and hires to date so that those numbers don't look weird. And they'll end up adding up to the right thing, because right now they're clearly taken from 2 different dates. If we can clarify that somehow for folks filling out the form, that might be useful.
I think we can probably update the form in the future to show folks that have passed through in the sense of being hired. I think part of their reporting is an effort to show that they made a good faith effort, even
Right.
though they may not have continued on staff.
Totally understood, and it does not affect the number of years, if that's the case, that we give them. It's just that it's one that sort of pops out at you and goes, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. So that's fine, and I appreciate those companies' efforts to do this. Now, speaking of good faith efforts, I have some concerns about the letter we got from GFI Digital, Gibbs Technology. Because the letter effectively says, we haven't tried anything. Maybe it was word of mouth from employees. That doesn't speak to me as good faith efforts, and that, you know, they supposedly hired 2 more minorities than they had before, which is good. And so my inclination is to say, well, that's fine. We appreciate that you got some more hires. But the reason we, I presume, had them on a 1 year before, otherwise we wouldn't have asked for good faith efforts, is because they were supposed to provide some, which they didn't. And so my inclination would be to put them back on a 1 year and say, no, we really, I mean, yeah, you lucked into getting some minority employees, 2 more than you had last time. That's good, but we do want to see good faith efforts going forward. So I would ask if the mover of the motion would take a friendly amendment to change GFI Digital to 1 year instead of 2.
I have no problem with that.
Since I seconded, it's probably straightforward.
And is that the one with the letter where questions were asked?
Yes.
And answers were like, we don't know.
Right.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. I did find that to be, you did luck into it, I think. Because certainly in their letter back to your office, they didn't have very much in the way of concrete actions that they took to make that happen. It felt definitely to me like it was, oh, we forgot to answer those questions, and they just sort of, kind of dashed off some responses without any real meat to it.
I mean, one thing I do want to say about this is we give that 1 year letter not because they have good numbers and we still think there's, work to be done. It's because we think the numbers aren't that great. Adding 2 employees is good, there is no doubt, but we do want to make sure that they're actually making progress. So I'd like to see them again in a year. So I appreciate it. That was all I had, so. easy
Vahagan?
enough.
Yeah, and speaking about Gibbs Technology Company DBA GFI Digital, I'd like to approach this question from another side, especially regarding male-female ratio, which is like 291 and male and 107 female, which is just 1/3, which can be understood, although there is a room for more balanced representation, I think. And also, I'd like to indicate another thing here about, which is, I think, a little bit more concerning, about other metrics such as race and ethnicity representation. Here we have, if we take a closer look to these numbers, 385, 23, 9, 4. So you will notice that overwhelming majority are representatives of white demographics. And considering the fact that the business is being conducted like it is like champagne business, the champagne area business, so there is definitely room for more inclusive and diverse representation, I think. And I truly hope that in the future, next time when they submit their next application, so the numbers will be more balanced and we'll have more diverse picture. Thank you.
Yes, and that would be in a year. So in this case, will we turn around and speak to them about this? That the,
It would be about the content of the letter to them, based
Yeah.
on the comments from the commission.
yeah, okay, thank you. Any other comments from the commissioners?
Regarding this exact agency? No.
No, anyone that you had a comment about, or concern, or question?
No, just I'd like to say that today we really have like a great extensive number of agencies and companies that are applying their applications and they want to continue or start business in this community, which is really very impressive because the areas of their activities are really diverse. I was just like reviewing the application and it was including waste transportation, architecture, like interior design, software engineering, and many other fields, which is really good. Why? Because it will allow more people to get jobs. So, and I just like want to say thanks for continuing or doing business in this community because it's not only providing services to people and makes our lives easier, you know, like maybe, I hope so, but also it creates new workplaces. And also since we have like such a great number of agencies and companies that are submitting their applications, I'd like to just like kindly remind that it is very important to maintain diverse work environments and which will make it more inclusive because at the end of the day, so one of our major goals and mission is to help other people to have equal access to work employment opportunities. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good but I think overlooked point is that these folks come here for business. They bring their business here to do business with the city, which does create jobs. Mm-hmm. And at least I do, overlook that. It's not always that these companies are located here, but the ones that are located here, the more business they have, the more people they can hire. And if we can, approve them to do business with the city, that opens up jobs for people. And it's my opinion that all of the companies that apply take it seriously and try to answer all the questions, well, except with the exception of the one that we spoke of, but, that can be improved upon. But I do think that they all try to answer these questions and do a good job, and they want to do business with the city, and I applaud that. And I am impressed with the diversity of what kinds of businesses are coming to do business with the city. So, okay, any other comments or questions?
Just to reiterate, I have the two Gibbs Technology Company doing business as GFI Digital and the one M&O Environmental Company as 1 year for the motion. Am I correct on that?
Yes, that's correct.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Okay. All in favor of approving as the amended motion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Thank you. The officers' report.
Carla, your mic's off.
Sorry. The office had 2 cases that were open during this last time period. They are now closed. They are at the city attorney's office. He reviews all of my final summaries before I send them off to the respondent and the complainant. He signs off on them just to make sure I've dotted all my T's and crossed all my I's and all that good stuff. Dotted my T's and crossed my I's. But one of them was employment discrimination based on race, and the other was public accommodation denied based on criminal record. We had some informal contacts and informal complaints. There were 4. One person phoned wanting to file a complaint against persons living in their property without a lease or payment. I don't have jurisdiction over that. It's a civil matter, but I did share that with the person. And then 2 people phoned or visited the office on separate occasions who had questions about issues with their property owners. Both are civil matters. Referred to building inspections, provided a copy of the 12.5 ordinance landlord-tenant relationship and what the parameters are and what the rules are. One person phoned seeking a list of black-owned businesses in the Urbana downtown area. I provided the last known list. It was 2021 to the caller. And a person emailed the OHRE seeking information about a behavior being discriminatory. After initial conversation, the person declined to submit a formal complaint. Office activity. There's not been a lot of activity outside of the office during this time. Tom has been working hard on Juneteenth activities. Please save the date of June 12th and June 18th to attend the City of Urbana's Juneteenth celebrations. The mayor's recognition of student service volunteer hours occurs at Urbana High School tomorrow evening, and Tom will staff a table for outreach, meeting with students and parents. If any commissioner is available, to please join him. And what time is that, Tom?
The setup will be at 5 o'clock, and the event will start at 5:30 at Urbana High School.
Moments in human rights history. On this day, April 15th, 1861, Federal Army of 75,000 volunteers is mobilized by President Abraham Lincoln at the start of the American Civil War. In 1865, President Lincoln dies from wounds he received the evening before from assassin John Wilkes Booth. Andrew Johnson becomes president. 1889, A. Philip Randolph is born. Randolph was a laborer, organizer, and civil rights activist. He organized and led the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, the first successful African-American-led labor union. He agitated successfully with others for integrated hiring in all defense contracts during World War II, integration in all federal hiring following the war, and for the integration of the military in 1948. In 1963, Randolph was the head of the March on Washington when Bayard Rustin served as lead organizer and Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his I Have a Dream speech. Randolph died in 1979. 1922, Harold Washington was born. He was elected the first African-American mayor of Chicago in 1983. Washington died in 1987, just 7 months after being reelected. In 1947, Jackie Robinson, number 42, becomes the first African-American to play in U.S. Major League Baseball for the Brooklyn Dodgers. And that is the end of my report.
Thank you very much. Enlightening as always. Announcements. This commission has 3 openings. And I'm looking forward to the summer time when we have the opportunity to go out and maybe do some recruitment at Jetty Roads and Juneteenth, and then Farmers Market and those kind of things. So
I'll be mentioning it tomorrow night because the an 18-year-old could potentially be on this commission as well.
That would be great to have a young person. I think that would be, or younger than you. Sorry, younger than you guys. Everyone could be younger than me. Okay. Our next scheduled meeting is Tuesday, May 20th at 5:30 PM right here. And if there's nothing else, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.